Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on this exciting episode of The Counselor. I am Olabisi Obayomi, and today we have in the studio Mrs. Omolara Adedeji. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming again.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, well, we appreciate you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, so today we're going to be discussing something quite important and really, in a woman's life, that's quite key in a woman's life, and that's the overwhelming season of a woman's life. While growing up, there was a point in my life while I was in university that I thought when I leave, school, I was going to be freer and I'll have lots of, time in my hands that I can do so many other things that I would want to do. But really, thinking back to it, I believe it was that those thoughts were actually not correct. Like they say, it was a scam. Obviously, they were just assumptions. It looked like there were no times when you would be less, busier in that sense. So I would really want to know, because right now I believe that, so many women have gotten to a stage and they are at the point where they are so overwhelmed. Lots of things are happening in their lives right now and they feel like they are not even in their own life. They feel they are responsible for every other person apart from themselves. And at this stage that they are right now, they feel so overwhelmed and choked that they feel my life is not going on. What's happening? Like I'm not getting the thing that I want. I'm not getting the desires that I want in life. So I'd like to ask, first of all, while we look at the balance to it, I'd like to know what season in a woman's life. This is for people that are watching that are probably not married yet, that still have those times in their hands. Like for a university student, for example, that is also feeling like I felt, then. I'd like to know what season in a woman's life can be so overwhelming. That's my first question, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Actually, what I've come to realize is that every women have peculiar seasons. Unlike men that could carry on, and merge some seasons in their lives. Women's seasons are peculiar. They're unique and they're distinct. Now, one of the things I've come to realize is that as you grow older and you take on new responsibilities, you now have more things that call for your attention. So that puts you in a position where you are juggling so many things, so many balls at the same time. So if at any point you want to keep your eyes off the balls you're juggling, you might miss out on one of the balls. And what happens at that time is that, if you see a ball juggler and the person is juggling, the fun is that all those balls are in the air and they are all, responding to the rhythm. Once a ball falls out of the rhythm, in fact, the whole pack of balls can destabilize. Yes, that's what happens. So, one of the things we must note is that each of those balls we are juggling must continue and remain in the air. Because if something happens to one, it affects
the others.
All. And that's the point where we women must understand this. We must embrace it. And we must understand the different balls that we are juggling, because some we find to be important and some we have given a back seat. So it is important that we know that each ball in our hands they are as important as the other one. So all these different seasons of our lives will not become so overwhelming if we give attention to some other areas that power the others.
Wow, thank you, ma. I understand that, but I really want to know what seasons could that really be? Like, okay, so from what you said now, it looks like it's when responsibilities are getting higher. For a woman, it's not necessarily until you are married. For a woman, it could be that your driving purpose. It could be that you're doing your masters. It could be that you're working and all that. Even if you're not married, it means you can really be overwhelmed
once you have
lots of
responsibilities.
So it has nothing to do with whether I have 2 children, I have 3.
For every new responsibility is another ball you're juggling. So the more balls you have to juggle, the more you just have to understand that you have to master the act of keeping those balls in a rhythm.
Yes. Wow, that's I love that illustration. Really, it's exciting to know that it's just about the juggling of the ball, and you have to keep the ball in the air so that the rhythm will continue that way. Thank you so much. I love that. And so I'd like to know how do we balance things at that point? When you have lots of balls you're juggling, like you said. How do we balance things at that particular period of our lives?
The truth is, at the point where we receive response, one of the things I'll quickly want to point out to women is this: don't accept a responsibility that you don't have the strength to power. Because sometimes we take on responsibilities that we don't have a requisite strength to
we don't have the energy to
to make it happen. Because every responsibility you accept requires something from you. There's an inner strength, an inner will that you will use to power. Just for example, for you to be the wife of your husband requires a certain level of strength. For you to be the mother of your first child, it requires a different level of strength.
Okay, so from what you just said now, does that mean for someone that is just newly married, if you think you do not have the energy to have a child right now, does that mean you should just wait? Because
it's advisable if you know. I've seen couples that tell themselves the blunt and truth. We just got married. For some women, they got married immediately after the youth service, and they know they want to get a job. Some of them want to start a career. They want to start a business. If you know you don't have a strength to push a business and a baby at the same time, relax. Is it that you put a pause on that business you want to start, or you put a pause on going ahead with having babies? Because you will require that strength. That's why you see that many women go through this postpartum depression, because at that point they feel, I can't do this. I can't. What's lacking? The strength. They don't have the strength to balance things, to make it happen. So to nurse really, a baby, it requires strength.
Wow. So it's really, sorry to cut you there, so it's really not about comparison. You don't have to compare yourself with another woman that she's doing this, she's juggling this ball, and
you don't have to. And Ma, the thing that breaks my heart about some women is because you see a woman that is pursuing ministry, being entrepreneurial, she has 3 or 4 kids, and you see her marriage is working well. You don't know the midnight candles this woman is burning to receive strength to push those things. If you can't do a sacrifice, you can't envy her life.
True.
So we must get that clear. You can't run your routine the way you run it and want another person's result. You must change your own routine to that person's routine for you to be able to even match that result in the first place.
Right? Because there's some people that I believe that they have some power system, working for them that you probably don't have. So you can't compare yourself and think that what is working for the other person would work for you. You need to learn how the person is doing it.
So
right now, I'd like to ask you a direct question, if you would permit me. How do you do it? I know you're a ministry gift. I know you're a mother of 3 children. You're a wife to your own husband. I know you have one business or the other that you do. I know that you have a foundation that you run as well. How do you combine this thing? There's so many other things. You're a sister to your siblings, a daughter to your mom and dad, and you have lots of other things running for you that I probably don't know. How do you do it? How do you combine all this together and help yourself not to be so overwhelmed by it? I'd like you to give us a little bit of insight into your private life. Let's get to know it. Yes.
Okay. For me, you know, I didn't start out realizing that there's a strength that powers things.
Okay.
You know, I came into marriage naive, and I just knew, you know, God has said something. God said to me, you know, I want you to be this for me. This is what I want you to do for me. But you know, at some point I felt I could just rush into those things and start them. But even God, in all of his wisdom, knows that our lives are in phases, and as men we are in sizes. If you don't have the size, if you want to wear a size 40 slippers, for example, you have to have a feet that is 40.
Into it,
So if your feet is not 40, you can't fit.
Exactly.
So the same thing with our lives. See, you can't run a business, you can't run an organization, you can't start something that you are not fit for. God could have told you and promised you, I want you to do this. Doesn't mean it's time. You need to build strength to power that thing. If that strength is not available, you can start. Then you realize that something has happened in between. So for me, over time I came to realize the place of strength in powering things. At some point I was trusting God when I had my daughter, and I was trusting God for my son, and for my first son, and you know, it looked as if, you know, there was a delay, and I was asking God, what's happening? And he told me the blatant truth that I am not ready for that child.
So that was a blessing in disguise.
Exactly.
And you probably didn't know it
because the space that I had between my daughter and my son gave me the ample opportunity to start building and pushing strength into some areas of my life.
Right?
But you know, some of us, we don't want to wait, we don't want to be patient, we don't want to build that strength base that can power things, so we're in a hurry.
So I can see from that for a woman right now that is probably waiting for the fruit of the womb, and she's waiting for 6, you know, lots of years, and you know, waiting for it.
God is giving her room
to build a career, build a business, build everything. So when the children come, they just enjoy it.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's why it's important that our strength zone is in God. Sometimes we don't understand our seasons. We don't even understand who we are.
Wow, understanding seasons.
Until we go to God and God opens us up to the why of the season. So we now get to appreciate it. Then we get to focus on the things that need our attention and strength at that time.
And these are some of the things that people don't know until after the season. And then they will start looking back and regretting, okay, so why
I should have maximized.
Thank you, maximize the season of my life. Wow. So tell us, how do you juggle these things together?
For me, I recognize what strength I have at a time. You can't push all your energy into one thing, into all things at the same time, because your energy is limited. So you realize, if the strength that is available now is to care for my husband, then it's a time to push in that strength into that area. If you know the strength available for me right now, that the grace available now and the strength is for my children, then you pump it into that area. So you give attention to your children at that time. If it's for your organization, an idea, don't wait. Push that energy in that direction.
So which means the other part of your life at that period of time would not be lacking when you face something else, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So at the end of the, you see that you're juggling all the balls in the air, and no one is sleeping off.
Wow. Do you want to give us an insight into your life? Like, how do you do it practically right now? You've given us the heart, you've given us the, you know, but can we know some practical ways, you know?
For me, practicality in this is be focused. As a woman, you need focus.
Okay.
Whatever you are doing, zero in on that thing. Do it, eat it.
Yeah.
Let your impact be felt. Sometimes we waste a lot of time doing irrelevant things. So then we now start lacking in areas where we were supposed to be, our impact supposed to be felt. So it's important when you have an area of your life, eat it at that time.
Okay.
When your husband has time for you and you also have time, give yourselves quality time at that time. Don't think you have another opportunity to do it. You might not have the energy. So whatever area, that's my own secret. You are in the place of prayer. Pray. Don't let your mind wander. Get what God has for you at that time. You know, be a voracious executor. You're talking to your children. It's not a time to think you have all the time on the world to raise them. Push in.
Wow, it's so exciting. Thank you so much, ma. I've gotten lots of things, lots of blessings from this, and the practicality, the fact that we need to pump in energy into things that would profit us per time. It's important. We need to cut down on lots of unnecessary things. Social media is one time waster. If you need to cut down on social media to be able to focus, it's important. I think we should do that. I believe, God, that you have been blessed this day, and I trust, God, that you're able to balance the season of your life. You're able to understand seasons and balance things, and then there won't be regret anymore as you journey forward with God. God bless you, and we trust, God, that you'd have much more testimonies from some of those things that we share with you. I am Olabisi Obayomi, and here with me again is Mrs. Omolara Adedeji. Thank you so much, ma, for coming. We love you. Thank you for sharing your life with us. We're excited about it. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.